Welcome back, my people. Now, cooking breakfast, let me give you one tip for your cooking spray. This is what you want to be using. Not only a very high, very high heating point, but it's avocado oil, and it's pure avocado oil as well. So if you want a healthy cooking spray, please stop buying the 1 cal spray stuff. It's disgusting. Not only tastes terrible, but it's actually full of, Aaron can put an emoji here. So if you want something healthy and something that's actually going to allow you to cook well, you want avocado oil spray. Good healthy fats and a very high heat point. So it doesn't burn your pan, doesn't burn your food. Now, this is actually so underrated. My favorite combo at the moment is literally just plain vanilla cream of rice and vanilla white ISO. I think if you're at a point in off season where you don't want something super sweet all the time, it's literally ideal. It's delicious. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of just pure vanilla ice cream. It's actually so good. So if you like vanilla ice cream, you need to get on this. And then I just generally mix it with just normal vanilla cream of rice, which at the moment, everybody wants a fancy flavour. And I thought to myself the other day, I'm gonna get back to the basics. Get back to the basic flavours. Get back to basics with the food. And it actually paid off because it tastes honestly tremendous. Mixtures really well as well. So if you want a tip, get onto vanilla cream of rice. If you want your cream of rice looking like this. Now, final ingredient. Boom. The most essential condiment of all time. And this has to stay in year round. So I kind of eyeball it, but in prep, when I get really OCD, the second I start my prep, all the condiments get measured. So I know I'm not putting anything extra in. And then that way, the condiments are pretty much redundant because it's calorie intake that I keep in year round. And realistically, when you add it up across the day, it's probably about 30 calories for me. So it's a drop in the ocean when it comes to calorie intake. But your condiment choice plays a massive role. So if you are going to use condiments, make sure you use actually low calorie condiments, because if you use normal mayo and just normal condiments across an entire day, it can even add up to 200 calories, and that can easily throw you out of a deficit if you are dieting. So be mindful of the amount of actual calories you ingest from condiments alone. So food intake has actually increased as of recent. I am actually pushing calories a little bit more now, so we've got a little bit of an increase across my meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, and my post-workout meal, and my intra-workout. So we have gone up by around 70 grams of carbohydrates, which what I've found generally myself, if I take a small increase, like 40 grams of carbs, which generally is what most people will need, it doesn't really do anything. So personally, I have to see a slightly larger increase for myself to see my body weight moving upwards again in the off-season setting. So meal number 1, 75 grams of mushroom, 4 whole eggs, 100 grams of cream of rice, and 100 grams of blueberries. So in this actual meal, we've just got an increase in actual protein and 40 grams of whey isolate as well. So we've got an increase in protein and in fats as well. So gonna get this et, and then little digestion walk back in and get to work. So strap in, I'm gonna show you what I'm eating today. You'll get to see some highlights from push day as well. And take you along the ride, guys. So let's go. Meal number 2. We have got 100 grams of steak, 125 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice, 100 grams of potato, and 75 grams of veg, with 100 grams of pineapple. So food has changed. Food has gone up a little bit. Addition of 100 grams of potato to this meal, which is 20 grams of carbs. Yeah, some calorie counters like count 17 and a half, but with potato, 100 grams, I always count 20 carbs. So 20 grams of carbs addition. Now, one thing I see a lot of people do when they are eating the meals, they will take a mouthful. Before they even chew the food, they take a massive, massive drink of water, and then they don't even chew the food, they just swallow it. If you actually want to digest your food, that's potentially and possibly the worst thing you can do. Drink your water around your meals, not with your meals. Now, simple reason being, you want to keep gut volume low and you want to allow the food to digest. Adding fluid into your gut not only is going to expand your gut, but also it dilutes the stomach acid. So, what you do want to do is chew your food properly, the best digestive enzyme money can buy. Secondly, you actually want to make sure that you don't drink with your meals, you drink around your meals, and make sure you eat in a relaxed environment with no stress. So do not eat at your work desk when you've just been working and going hard at it for ages. What you do want to do is chill, have some downtime, have a designated eating spot, watch something that's going to make you relax, and take your time and enjoy. Welcome to the Digestion Lane Talks. I'm gonna have to call it a specific name. Now, food and food intolerances. If you keep eating the same food sources over and over again over time, you will develop intolerances. So I know we all have our own favorite foods, but anything has to be used and eaten in moderation. So if you find yourself that you are eating the same foods over and over again, over time, your body will develop an intolerance to it, which means that you won't digest it well, you will get stomach issues, and often it can actually make you feel pretty unwell. So my best advice to you guys is keep as much variety across your food intake as possible across the day. Now, with bodybuilding, this will be somewhat limited. However, with the different varieties of meats, fish, and all the carbohydrate sources, there's no excuse for anyone to be eating more than, 2-3 similar meals a day. So keep variety in place, not just for digestion, but also for enjoyment. Right guys, team call done. Now today I did the Q&A for our MK Excellence coaching program. So each person on the program gets access to all the calls, all the resources that we actually created for them, and live lectures and Q&As on a weekly basis. So today was one of them, and I actually managed to squeeze in a little nap straight after that as well. So get up, eat, get the pre-workout meal, and then go straight to the gym and get the push session going. So today's pre, 150 raw weight rice, 200 grams of chicken, 50 grams of mushrooms, and then we've got 100 grams of pineapple and 100 grams of banana.
So in this meal, addition of 100 grams of banana is in place. So we'll get this down, get the bits ready for the gym, and head down and get huge.
Right, how to make the perfect cream of rice. Step number 1, water, cream of rice and a whisk. Step number 1. Step number 2, put it in the microwave. Step number 3, put the timer on, 2 minutes. Step number 4, wait. We'll do it step by step. How much water do I need to add? Now, if you are doing 100 grams, I actually like to do 350 to 400 mils of water. 150, unfortunately, you are going to have to add some extra. So for 150 grams, I actually do 500 mils of water. And then I make sure that don't overcook it. If you overcook your cream of rice, I promise you, 1, it will taste like dirt. 2, it will not actually be as easy to eat or as easy to digest. So you want it in a consistency where it's almost like a little pudding. Step number 5, you take it out of the microwave, you stir it again. Step number 6, back in the microwave, back for another minute. So, intervals, this is so specific, you need to get that right, otherwise you will fail. 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, whisk on, whisk off. There we go. Cream of rice number 1, complete. Now we're gonna have to get on number 2. The only thing that's left to do now, guys, is top it up with some fresh raspberries. And the job is done. Boom. The perfect post-workout meal. Now, consistency-wise, needs to be like a pudding. Voila. Now, so many people make it so complicated. It's super easy. All you have to do is just make sure you actually cook it and you don't cremate it. We don't like cremated cream of rice. It's bad for you, trust me. 3 of my favorite flavors for cream of rice for TurboGP.com. It's gonna have to be cookies and cream, vanilla, and white chocolate coconut. White chocolate coconut still being the best. And I'm gonna give a special mention, triple chocolate as well. It is actually pretty decent, so get on it. Code, Cuba10, you know the drill. I should have been a -2 stars Michelin chef. Look at this, I mean, you could go into any restaurant and you could literally just sit down, enjoy this micronutrient dense meal. I mean, some great, easy, digestible carbohydrates, some fiber, micronutrients from the fruit, protein from your whey powder. I mean, a Michelin star chef would be proud of this, really would. I mean, ticks every box. They should add it as part of a menu in you know, one of the top restaurants. Name it the Cuba's dish. Trained by JP's cream of rice. Imagine just serving this to someone that's a normal person. They would literally just take a little spoonful of it and be like, tastes great, but I'm not sure this should taste as good as it does. Bodybuilding is it's a weird sport, isn't it? Little tip, right? Back in the day when I used to blend a lot of food, I used to blend cream of rice and tuna. I remember standing on doors when I worked security. I had big shakes. We had like a little cupboard. So the entrance of the cupboard here would be here, and then we'd have like a little storage cupboard here. I'd keep all my food there, all my shakes. I'd go in, chug it down, straight out. And I remember back in the day, I had no water or chewing gum with me, so I just had that down. a group of these girls come over, and like I could smell the tuna shake like on myself. Speaking to these girls before they come in, I just thought, oh, this is just not a great look or a great smell by any means. If you remember that, and it was you and watching this, comment below.
Look, tell a man no trouble. I don't want beef, man. I just want vibes. Big man like me, no need for the telephone hype. I got too much getting online.
Got the pumpage, 20 grams with 5 grams of creatine. And then we'll get this just before we start training. Now, intra workout, which is on the table, Meg will fill you in that one, so she'll take you from intra. But second part of the intra is actually here. We've got 25 grams of PS Max, which will get drunk halfway through the session. I always like to split my protein feedings quite even, especially on PS Max being a complete protein. I do prefer to actually have it mid-workout, so I always split it. So our protein feedings are even between 2 to 2.5 hours.
No need for the snoozing. Big whip outside, I'm cruising. Big stick inside, no losing. Better watch out for the snake and Judas. Don't ask them who this is. I bet they know what I'm moving in. I bet I show it into a dim. How you hate and then lose again? How you hating my vibes? Why you wasting my time? Getting hype on my line.
Meal number 4. We'd normally class that as a meal, but for me, it's just an intra-workout drink. So we've got 20 grams of sustain and 45 grams of performance fuel. Taking my carb drink up to 60 grams of carbs, thereabouts, for my intra-workout. So I start sipping this literally after my first working set, and I always aim to finish this before the last 2 exercises, meaning that when I actually sit down to eat my post-workout, my belly is pretty much completely empty after having this. The rule of thumb is 200 mils of water per every 10 grams of carbs when you actually have this. So always make sure you actually drink and mix enough water with this, otherwise it might not sit as well.
I just want to relax, brand new whip, 2-tone, I need that brand new hit. You know, like lean back, brand new bits I live in. We back, man, you never gonna like us. Get them on sight now, let them all like that.
Right, meal number 4, but it would be meal number 5 if we count the intra, so it's going to be meal number 4. So 60 grams of ISO, 150 cream of rice, 150 grams of berries, and we actually have 2 rice cakes with this as well that Meg is going to get because she's forgot them. So it's a big meal now. Up until like last week, I was actually quite hungry for this. I'm semi-hungry for this now, and I'm actually after I've ate this, I'm like, okay, I'm not actually that hungry anymore. So this is going to be the part of off season where it actually isn't that pleasant.
Meal 5 for Cuba, which is 100 grams of rice, 225 grams raw weight of chicken, and some vegetables, which will be about 75 to 100 grams. And then it'll all be lovely put into a pan by Cuba, because he doesn't like it when I do it. Sometimes, if he's delayed or when he gets into off-season and he's...
When he gets into off-season, I'm deep into
No,
off-season.
but when he gets a little bit more sluggish, which will probably happen at some point because he's getting heavy.
About a week away.
Which is fine because I'll be going into prep, so I'll probably be extra productive and very light. Extra light. Yeah? Oh, wow! Look at him! Wardrobe.
Actually, it's chicken tikka because it's chicken, and I've added tikka powder into it. Meal 5 has to be done. Oh God, cut that bit out. I don't understand how people just eat like plain rice and plain chicken without actually making it edible.
I could probably eat it.
I think this is why people struggle to actually stick to a diet. They just make it taste like utter crap.
Yeah, but there's also some people that just don't care.
Listen, go for a 20-week prep. Get leaner, we'll see if you don't care. Right, my people, so 100 grams of rice, 225 grams of chicken, 75 grams of veg. This is meal 5 going down now. I normally have a meal 5 around 90 minutes after I've trained. That is just to make sure that I can have my meal 5 and meal 6 within time. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm actually gonna get my next meal ready, just so you can see what I'm going to have, and Aaron can wrap the video up and get himself off home so I can chill out and actually finish my work, because I still have some work to do. Today has been a monster of a day where I have my usual client check-ins. A lot of guys competing obviously this weekend. We have Hen, Jade, Susie doing the pro show this weekend in France, and then we'll have Jem doing the bikini class and David doing the super heavyweight. So 5 more athletes competing this weekend, which is, yeah, the season's still going. And every week, you know, I've had pretty much between 20 to 10 to 5 athletes compete every weekend on bounce. So it's been a busy month. And it does require a lot of focus and discipline around my routine, making sure I get enough rest so I'm mentally switched on. And a lot of that comes from nutrition as well, making sure that nutrition's on point so we can stay switched on. So do not undervalue the power of food and rest for your productivity levels. It's undervalued, I promise you. Now, YouTube time, food time, and then work time, and then again food time. That's all we do. Right, hand trim by the butchers. I'll be the judge of that. Hand trim by the butchers, let's see. It's actually pretty decent. Well done. Where'd you get this from, Meg? Morrison's. Big up Morrison's. Well trimmed steak, well done. Price, not the best. It's a good job. This is an expense for my profession. Otherwise, I would not be a happy man. Right, meal number 6, last but not least. I think the crucial part of meal number 6 is going to be having Digest Pharma Pro with this meal. Now, I use this 3 times per day. Like I mentioned to you earlier, the best digestive enzyme that you can have is chewing your food, yes. However, we are not supposed to be eating 5,000 calories. That is just a fact. We are probably supposed to be eating around 2.5 max. So when we expose our gut to so much stress from food, inevitably it will need assistance. And you can only eat what you can digest. This is where Digest Pharma Pro really comes in. Again, patented ingredients from Trained by JP Nutrition. This is definitely one of the most effective digestive aids I have ever used. And I use that personally 3 times per day with my biggest meals, with my meal 1, pre-workout meal, and my last meal. And this has worked tremendously. My digestion, even now eating 5,000 calories, has been superb. So this is essential for your off-season gains. So this last meal varies depending on what I fancy on that given day. Sometimes I will have steak and then cream of rice on my side. Today, I don't actually fancy cream of rice, so what I'm going to do is have 40 grams of my muesli, and I'm actually going to do 10 grams of whey with this meal because the steak is only 200 grams, so I need to make up my protein numbers. You better get them protein numbers up, lad.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
If you want to get big, get them protein numbers up. What we are going to do is first measure out my muesli. We'll actually do 50 grams today. So we'll do 50 grams of muesli. Last bit, I'm gonna have to order some more. This is actually really good. Raisins, flaked almonds, apple,
cinnamon, ginger, all natural ingredients, no terrible stuff in it. So it's absolutely fantastic and it tastes great. So we're going to have this. We're going to have a little bit of almond milk. What we are going to do is measure out my whey, measure out my almond milk. This is my usual latte maker, coffee latte, whatever you call it. Anyway, simple and effective way to mix your whey. I know it looks just like a bowl of milk, but that's just because it's fluffy. Right, 150 grams of strawberries is going to go in. With this, we'll let this sit in the fridge until it's time to eat. Now, the last but not least part of the last meal. So, steak, I'm going to leave out for an hour before I actually cook it. Just let it set at room temperature. Now, the reason for that is I love my steak medium rare, so we need to make sure that you bring the temperature down so the steak isn't cold when you actually eat it. That's just a pro tip. You can donate, PayPal link in bio. Let me know. So, another pro tip I'll give you. Cook the rice you will only eat for one day and then keep it either in the rice cooker or in a casserole dish. Now, if you put rice into the fridge, it actually develops starch overnight, which actually makes it much harder to break down. So we always cook our rice fresh for that day. I never ever put it in fridge, and it does make a big difference when it comes to digestion. Now, it's not an issue when you are deep in prep, but when it comes to off season and you are eating pretty much a kilo of rice a day, if not more, in my case it's actually just a little bit over, it can become a little bit problematic. Right guys, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is my big boy time, full day of eating, and how I managed to eat 5,000 calories of clean food each and every single day with no issues, no digestive issues, and be able to get it down with ease. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. And please make sure you watch the push video that we actually filmed today.